You go blank?
Oh, no, I was looking at your screen.
So why would we want to look for thermal?
Because it's things we physically wouldn't see, but you could have the actual heat sense of where something's going.
Not heat. Cold.
Oh, cool.
We're looking for the cold spots, literally. So you should be able to see me in there, red, orange, and yellow guy.
Hot red.
Yeah, normally I make the joke that I'm the hottest thing inside the frame, so thanks for stealing that. What we're looking for are blue and black. So I'm looking for blue and black to either take shape or to start moving on its own. Now you're going to see blue and black because it's chilly out here, which means all the glass around us, including windshields, windows, those kind of things, are going to be blue and black. I want to see shapes. So I want to see things moving around. When I see, something taking shape, I'm looking for head, shoulders, arms, and legs. Like, that's what I'm looking for. So have we caught those things? Absolutely, we've caught those things. Does it happen every single night? No, it doesn't. No. So I capture, I'm going to say probably 5 to 10 like really solid holy shit moments on this camera a year. So I'm going to give you examples of like, this is not a TV show. I don't capture something every episode.
Right.
So
Neither do they.
they don't either. There's a blue dot bouncing around. You guys see that guy? Up there in the corner? That is showing you the coldest spot in the frame at that particular moment. So when you guys get your video back, which is obviously going to be on YouTube, so you can watch it however you want to, your TV, computers, whatever, that's going to help guide your eye on where the coldest spot is in the frame at that moment. Tonight is, I think I recorded 55 degrees out here, so I'm going to be looking for 15 plus degree temperature drops, so 40 degrees and below. I actually write down your temperature, moon phases, all that stuff. It all goes in your analysis for tomorrow morning. That way it helps me gauge, like, hey, we got close to a new moon, and we're actually only at 4%, so we're really close to a new moon. I'm wondering if that last night's activity had something to do with that. So again, I'm going to be gauging that again tonight. So I'm going to actually stop the video, and this is a FLIR camera. Again, if anybody goes to that car, I'm sure we're all going to see them because there's only one car here. But their mansion actually sat in the front of this space, facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant and came all the way across. And then the servant and slave quarters were in the back of the space. So it kind of gives you the layout. So who the heck were these people? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 different Chucks. So that's why we always look for those secondary clues so we know which one's coming through if we get something relative to the name Charles. The son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. So that's a big deal for us, and if I don't bring it up, they will do it for me very angrily. They need that recognition. So we're going to actually move on because I hate politics. We're going to talk about Eliza. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say today's standards because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, don't expect numbers like 12 and 14, like the colonial times that she came from. Think of today's standards. And the reason I bring that up is because her husband, Charles, was over double her age when they married. Kind of a creepy age gap back then, there's the grimace, and a creepy age gap now. So with that, she married him because her father was over in England where Eliza's from. And he thought he was dying. He was trying to bring all of his children home one last time. Doesn't want to see them before he dies. Eliza didn't believe he was dying. She stayed put and got married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that particular year for a green card because we're not a country yet. So she did marry him out of love. There's no foul play. This is a very prominent English woman that we're going to tiptoe around a little bit. But anyway, she was right. Dad did not die right away. Instead, he starts sending her gifts apologetically to where we're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo.
Oh.
You guys have been in town. You've seen the word indigo. So do you guys know what indigo is?
No.
It's a blue dye that makes our blue jeans
Oh,
blue.
yeah.
Right,
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes.
So,
yes.
and I always explain it that way because I get teenagers that are like, I have no idea what the hell that means. But anyway, so when she got the seeds, she didn't know what to do with them either. At least the whole process. She knew what they were for, but she had to learn from her slaves how to keep it cultivated. It's obviously not warm here all the time. And then she actually moved it to a cash crop down by the Stono River. Got hold of her dad and said, our rice plantations are going downhill. We can make a killing with this indigo. And we now have an international businesswoman during colonial times. Not to mention, it's Women's History Month, so I have to kind of throw my own
Nice.
Very good. Yeah.
but I tell the story every night, and I just have to remember that it's March. But at any rate, so that's the boring business stuff. Let's get into the weird stuff, because that's why you guys are here. So, and again, we're not going to be dealing with any dark entities or anything like that tonight, just so you know. We'll get a little, mischievous with some pirates later, but that's about as far as it'll go. But anyway, the questions that I normally get the answers to from Eliza are a couple of, I usually have sets of questions, because I use 7 different communication devices like what you're using. So the first one is, the mansion's not here. What happened to it, and then when did that happen? If we get the date of the what, or if we get the what, we can normally get 2 or 3 numbers out of the when. So out of the date of the exact time it actually occurred. Eliza's death we're going to focus on, just because it is just the three of us, and if we start getting answers from that, we'll kind of elaborate. But her death, how old she was, what did she die from, where she's buried, what president was a pallbearer at her funeral. Like very obviously distinctive questions, non-yes, no's, that kind of thing. So we're going to focus on like those two small sets of questions. I know Eliza's death doesn't seem like a small set, but hopefully Eliza is going to be as active as she was last night and give us just as many readings and or words coming through. So you don't have to ask them out loud if you're uncomfortable with talking to people that you can't see, which is perfectly fine.
Young people.
75.2. Holy cow.
Eliza, did you have children?
Yeah, we don't even have to walk around. Everything's going on right now. I do have the word revolutionary. That's relative in two light senses of the word. What was that number I said? 72?
Yep.
Come on, Eliza. What else do you have for us? Tell us what happened to the mansion. There's somebody else here. We just need to know what your name is. Who's actually here with us?
Headline now.
Baselined it with a 0. Holy cow. So when it fluctuates and it doesn't give us the exact same thing, that's what's exciting. Because if it's going back from like 3 to 5, 3 to 5, that's coming from something man-made. Like that's a pulse.
Right.
So.
Not 72.
Yeah, not 72. And I don't see anything relevant here except for the word revolutionary, but it's even then that's kind of vague at best. I mean, the indigo crops were revolutionary, but we also had a son that fought in the Revolutionary War. So
She did have children?
yeah. I normally don't poke the bear too hard with that one.
Okay.
When I have small groups like this, just to kind of see what goes on. I do have the word ownership. So I wonder if servants or slave has come through on another... Not that slave is a normal radio term.
Got
How cold? So you probably have some mud in there. This ground can be very deceiving.
Got it.
There's mud, there's gravel, there's concrete. Like they're all different temperatures, unfortunately. When I'm looking at this part of the video, I'm normally looking at the wall because the wall will hang on to the sunlight from the day.
Yep.
So that way I'll definitely notice a cold spot going by the warm wall. 1908. To this corner. I want to see if we can get anything in here. So that 170 actually came, it was almost like centrally located. And now I got zeros. No pressure, Chris. What are you hearing?
Well, I thought I heard partially wounded, but...
You are correct. If you heard it, it is the son that I told you about in the Revolutionary War was partially wounded.
Oh.
It's your first instinct, because you won't have a chance to go back and check until you get the recording.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing is flat now. I got nothing over here. That's crazy.
Night, House of Blue.
House of Blue. What color's indigo?
Blue.
Exactly.
That was weird.
Is it? That's
It
why
was
you came
weird
to see
to hear that.
Well, it's probably House of Blues. Is probably what they were trying to say, but it cut off.
Uh-huh.
Come on, Eliza. We're only going to stay here for a few minutes. I don't want to disrupt anything that you got going on, but it is a quiet Sunday. We'd like to hear a few more terms from you. That would be great. You gave us quite a bit last night. Damn, down to nothing. Little guys, 3.2s, 2.9s.
Yeah.
I wish I made this stuff up. I can't.
It's a lot easier.
It would be.
Set of 4.
She had 4 children. Eliza, why don't you give us the names of your children, please? We're going to be gentle on this one. Or if you are one of Eliza's children, tell us which one is here. It's not an easy thing to listen to.
Spins? Just spins?
I don't know the full process of making indigo, but I don't think you have to spin anything.
On review.
She's telling you to leave a 5-star review later.
Yeah. That's right. Don't be chintzy.
Ah, that is so funny. I always try to make something out of the weird stuff that comes through. Chintzy, that's not a term you hear down here. I know what it means because I'm a northerner.
There you go.
My mother used it often. All right, Chris, I think we should call it. What do you think?
Yeah.
I'm going to end it on a good note. We're
Okay.
not pissing her off.
Okay. Good
So,
choice.
Yeah. This space, I would be honest, coming on the other side. So you might want to just keep like the belly shot, if you know what I mean.
I got it.
There you go. So anyway, Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash flow, and the attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. So he tells Amanda, get rid of the doctor. He comes to Charleston to prove that he's not. The coachman that brought him into town set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a good start to his stay here. Somebody was walking by and saw everything that was about to happen. So his name was Ralph Isaacs. I stop on Ralph for a second because he has the same initials as where the doctor came from, R.I. So we would get R.I. all the time on one of those spirit boxes. So I bought a new device specifically for this location. It's called an Envoy. In essence, it's a digital Ouija board. I wanted to see if we would get just the letters R.I. consecutively, and we have. So again, not consistently, but consecutively. Anyway, back to Ralph. He tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. He's like, why don't you come with me? I got friends at 59 Church Street. You can stay there, rent a room, you'll be safe. The number 59 is pretty prominent here, too, just so you know. Doctor took him up on the offer. They became friends. The longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money. He's going to make his own. Amanda gets wind that he's doing well for himself. She's moving down so they can get married. Dr. Ladd became known as the Whistling Doctor. Every haunted city you're ever going to visit has a cliched whistling ghost. I'm just going to point it out there. We all have one. There's actually proof of this one, and I'm going to get to it. So, Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. He gets better seats. That's just the way the hierarchy works.
Yeah.
So they talk about these plays on the way home. They go see Richard III. They're walking home discussing the new actress. Dr. Ladd thought that the new actress was great. Ralph didn't think so. The argument gets really heated when Ralph is insulting the doctor's fiancée back home in Rhode Island, and they go their separate ways. Told you Ralph has friends here. He goes to his friends at the newspaper, puts an ad in the newspaper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a monstrosity to the city, sir.
Right.
So, Dr. Ladd saw the ad, rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this once and for all. So, keep in mind, I said some of the duels occurred here. So not all. This was not just the only place. They came down, they took their 10 paces, they turned, the doctor pointed his gun in the air, and he shot. He didn't want to kill his friend.
Right.
Just courage and bravery to show up to the fight.
Yeah.
Often what happens. Sorry, I have to explain that to the kids that watch Hamilton 1,000
That's
times.
good, right? Yeah.
But anyway, Ralph has his one bullet, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor.
Oh.
Dr. Ladd fell to the ground. He didn't die, but his friends picked him up, carried him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later.
Oh.
He refused medical treatment. You have to remember he's a doctor, so he probably tried to bleed out this bullet himself.
Right.
So I have to explain to the kids that gunshot wounds in 1786 were a lot different than gunshot wounds today.
Right.
So again, he's looking for lead poisoning.
Yeah.
Basically. Every tour in town will tell you to listen for the whistles as you're walking through here. We're using my voice recorder, so you don't have to listen attentively. That's what the voice recorder's for. If you're going to walk through this alley by yourselves before you guys leave town tomorrow and turn on your voice recorders on your phone, just keep in mind every local knows the story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street throws a whistle down the alley every single time. I do it every night. So I have to pass this alley to get to my car. Like, I actually park above that little convenience store. That's why I know where all those smokers are.
Yeah.
So again, I have to pass the alley, so I always throw a whistle, especially since I got booted out of here.
Yeah.
So let's kind of get into that, because that's the fun part of the story. This alley didn't go all the way through this way, so it was cut off between about halfway between us and Cumberland Street. That's why I like to stop at the gate, kind of give you a point of reference. So that's because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. It was called Cow Alley. So again, all the cows, chickens, you name all the livestock, they're in here. That means the bricks on the other side are older than the bricks on this side. Those bricks down on the other side are sun-dried bricks from slave children.
Yes.
So did they show you guys that?
We saw some handprints.
Right. So
Yeah.
I would always take my group down there to show them the slave handprint.
Yeah.
But I treat that handprint the same way I do a grave. That kid's not staring at that handprint in the afterlife. However, November 26th of 2020, very vivid in my brain. So my entire team of 10 is huddled around that brick waiting for something to happen. Not only am I pushing them along because I don't think anything is going to happen, but it's also outside the kitchen window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. Yeah, I'm trying to be respectful, not knowing I was out of bounds. Like, I'm not allowed to take a tour down there.
Oh.
Yeah. It's considered residential.
Oh.
Did not know that. I was still new at this.
Yeah.
So, the new owner came out. He was screaming.
Oh.
My daughter thought it was great because she was on the tour that night and Dad's getting yelled at.
And getting kicked out.
Yeah, so we moved on.
Yeah.
So the next day was Thanksgiving. And the rest of my route was like back to East Bay Street, and we used to go down to the Bodner building. That's a great story too, but obviously way out of the way now. But anyway, Thanksgiving I don't work because I worked in retail management for over 20 years, mainly for Walmart. I'm sure you can feel my pain for that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
No
I don't
Thanksgiving.
do Thanksgiving
Yeah.
ever.
No.
So the next day was the 28th of November. It's Black Friday. I have a full team again. I talked to my partner that morning and told him what happened. He was my partner at the time. He's not with me anymore. He says, you can't go down that far. You got to go down halfway, down to the plaque, or you got to reroute your group. So I decided it's not fair for my groups of 10 to be investigating around 20 to 60 people in here. So I
Yeah.
decided, let's reroute. I told my team, I don't believe in the next story because I've never had anything happen at this location. I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person. I know you're in Charleston, but we're going to see what happens. Before we left, somebody heard the name Anne on a spirit box, and I went, well, hot damn. I did not tell them who we are going to be investigating. Female pirate Anne Bonny. So, we get down there. I told her a little bit I did know about piracy, which wasn't much because, again, not a pirate
He told me
person.
this version of the story, and I was like,
So, somebody else heard the number 300. I have no idea what that means. I write it down, research it the next day. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy, November 28th of 1720. The exact 300 year anniversary of her
300.
pirate. So I went, shit, now I got to read a bunch of books on piracy. Half my library now is books on pirates and how to debunk the lore. So everything we're going to be discussing at the next space about Anne Bonny came from a minimum of 2 resources. I'm going to just tell you now, be grateful I have a master's degree in creative writing and was able to piece this together. Again, I like factual investigations. That's why I always stayed away from pirates. I probably know enough about pirates now, I can write my own book.
That's great.
So, I mean, I'm even playing video games now that have different versions of the story in them of pirates. So it's like, I'm a big gamer, especially the old history games,
Yep.
like Pine Civilization and, you know, that kind of thing, Greek mythology stuff.
Yeah.
But now I'm like playing pirate games. Damn it. The ex-wife was into pirates.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Again, love this place. Hopefully you found things that, or you weren't listening the whole time. Oh, look at that. We're getting our... Oh, okay. Okay, so we got a couple things going on here. We're near the church. We're going to start getting religious terms a lot. And we have at least 2 of them, theology and preacher.
Oh.
We're near St. Philip's Church. I don't know who the hell Jacob is, but weren't we just talking about...
I just heard preacher.
Oh, weren't we just talking about horses?
Yes.
So we got the word horse. So, and not to mention, there was one right by us. So it's almost like somebody was telling us, like, hey, I can see what you see, like one of those kind of things. I don't have any other, unless that horse's name is Jacob, I don't have any, I can't prove it. It's just one of those in-the-moment type things. Ooh, that's interesting. We also had the word color when we were back at the Pinckney Mansion site. I missed that in real time. So we did get House of Blue. So again, very vague stuff. I'm not super excited about anything besides our EMF reading so far, and the 2 things that you heard, which was House of Blue instead of 4.
Yeah.
So those are my big excitements so far for the night. But right now we're going to go talk about
Oh,
pirates.
I just heard God.
This is a gorgeous place, but that is definitely Gilmarine down on Sullivan's Island, right next to Island Palms. So again, you can kind of get the gist of like what kind of housing they're looking at over there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I live out in Somerville, probably the most reasonable place in Charleston to live as far as price-wise, but still definitely suburbia. Mixture of white and blue collar. You know, I don't know like where you guys are at, but my housing market, where I'm at, we're in the 350s to half a million, and that's a 4-bedroom, 2,100 square foot house.
Yeah.
So like that's where we're at now. I mean, we're looking to build like in the woods with our neighbors. Plus our dogs need some running space. So we're looking already at like different plats of land around town. Like where can we go where it's not going to be so congested?
When we get home, it's a little more vacationing.
Yeah. You know, because I mean, I spend a lot of time at home. I mean, I spend a lot of time with the dogs. I mean, we have 3 wiener dogs, so spend a lot of time with them. I do a lot of reading. The office is big. Like, I took a bedroom just because my office needs to be that big for what I do here. Not to mention all the writing, the marketing. I spend a lot of time there. There's a couch in there for the dogs, just for the dogs.
And a place you can close the door and it's not having to like stick up.
Well, I have my birds in there. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's and I have a podcast. You know, so I'm always recording something or I'm working on something. You know, so it's just me and my wife. I mean, it's a giant 4-bedroom house. You know, and it's nice to be able to spread out.
Yeah.
But my wife is also disabled, so when we build, it's gonna have to all be one floor.
Oh, nice.
So she's getting a little worn out from all the steps. So we're gonna have to. But anyway, back to Ghosts. Steve's like, I'm working over here. What the hell are you 2 doing? So anyway, welcome to the Powder Magazine. So did you guys see this place at all when you guys were doing your?
We did not.
Is this the Crooked Steeple?
It is.
Okay, we just looked at this.
Yeah, we were where that's.
Yeah. So normally when we have a full moon, it is right next to that steeple. So it is usually a great social media shot for me. But anyway, we're here because of the Powder Magazine, which is the building we're standing right next to. So the Powder Magazine it's an interesting bit of why we're here. First off, notice that
What's the matter?
My watch just did a ring of fire, and that's got nothing to do with anything.
What do you mean a ring of fire?
You close one of your rings. It does that when you close your exercise ring.
It's like, good God, what was... Sorry.
I didn't know what a ring of fire meant.
You just closed your red ring. That's with the update.
Blue ring. Sorry.
Okay.
My apologies.
No, that's why I was like, is there something going on that I need to know?
You better record this.
He is recording it right now.
No, you need to record Steve closed a ring of fire.
All right,
We have
smart
the
aleck.
audio.
Oh, good, Steve. It's on audio.
You guys gonna have it right back to you. These are not crosses on this building. Those are earthquake holes. Did anybody
Yes.
see what those are?
Yep.
So the reason I bring these ones up specifically is because this is the first set of earthquake holes that Charleston ever put in. The reason why is because this is the oldest government building in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713. We are here because this is what I call a familiar. So, you know, Eliza Pinckney is what I call an active ghost. This is a familiar ghost. She's here because this building was being constructed at the same time that she was coming to this area to start her new life. So, but the building itself took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government small building? 10 years?
Yeah.
But anyway, the story begins right in the middle of its construction of that 10 years. You got to kind of follow me. You guys have been doing really well with that. There's a lot of twists in here. I'll slow down on the twists. Young lady moves here from Ireland. She's with her father. Her name is Anne Cormack, by the way. She comes here with her dad and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
Yep.
The three of them running
That's
away.
very scandalous for that time of year.
Oh yeah, it's going to get even worse.
Oh,
Anne Bonny had a lot of lovers. We're going to cover them.
all right.
But anyway, the three of them are running away from her father's wife. How mad was she
Uh-huh.
that they had to leave the damn country?
Right.
I'm telling you this, be nice to the wife.
Yeah.
She'll kick you out of the damn country. Sorry, I'm assuming you two are married.
We are married.
Yeah.
You did tell me that at the beginning. Sorry. I hate to assume anything. But anyway, back to Anne. They land in Georgetown. That's between us and Myrtle Beach. That's like about an hour from here. So Dad bought a plantation, but Mom died pretty quickly. That means he's sending young Anne down here to be able to sell anything from the plantation to help keep things afloat. So hence the familiar building. There's not many buildings around town this old. So this is the same principle on your TV shows of using a teddy bear to attract a child.
Right.
Goes to kind of same mentality. But at any rate, so let's take a step backward to Ireland for just a minute. Anne, when she was a child, they say she was a badass even back then. When she was 7, 8, 9 years old, remember this is pirate lore, nothing is exact.
Right.
She killed a servant with a knife to the belly.
Oh.
So, yeah. Don't know the reason, don't know anything else behind it, but it is notated on several books and sites. But anyway, fast forward, building's done in 1713. By 1715, pirates are coming through Charlestown, and Anne is stoked. Why? She's going to fall in love so she can earn her freedom, just like a man. It's a man's world. So, first guy she falls in love with, I said first, like I said, there's a handful. We're going to cover them. James Bonny. Dad doesn't approve, but you kind of see where this is going already. Dad, they're going to run away to Jamaica, and they're going to get married. When they get down there, James Bonny is not Captain Jack Sparrow like what she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. He's a spy for the British. He's a coward in her eyes. This is not who she wants.
Yeah.
A few years go by and she falls in love again. This is John Rackham, a.k.a. Calico Jack. So Calico Jack is the person they based your Johnny Depp character off of. Just so you know who this guy is. So this guy does have his own ship, and Anne wants to be part of it. Can't put a girl on a pirate crew. You know why?
Bad luck.
Thank you. I get a lot of different family-friendly answers to that, if you really think about the question.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy and look like the crew, you can be part of the crew.
Sure.
But you're going to be a female in my quarters. So she's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. So she gets it. It's a man's world. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Put two and two together. She's a female in his quarters. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You cannot have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew.
No.
Somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl, and then they're going to vote Jack off the ship.
Yeah.
Jack drops her off in Cuba. Go have the baby over here. These are friends of mine. They'll help you. Come back later, and we'll figure it out. She goes and has a baby, but returns with no baby. No amount of my research has found what happened to this child. Yeah, we have no idea whatsoever.
Yeah.
The significant part of this story is that she comes back dressed as a female, which makes Jack very angry because everybody's going to know he let a girl on the crew. And while she was gone giving birth, he captured her. Let's do this. Steve's going to tell us everything he's hearing. Did she show you where the volume's at?
She did.
Okay. You can see how crude those earthquake bolts are. Like some of them, like, are even coming off the building a bit.
Plant screen.
Plants green.
Yep. Couldn't help myself.
Okay. And what are your parents' names? Remember the question you know I asked.
Judge.
We'll see if the judge's name shows up. We've had that happen here before too. What was the judge's name that tried you for piracy?
4. right?
By the way, it's a great shot of the church too with that thermal.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So go ahead and tilt your camera up a little bit so you can get the full steeple and see how cool it looks.
Oh, wow.
And again, we had things relevant to the church here last night, and I was like, there was something about fire, and then the numbers came up about the year or something, so I was like diving in a little bit further. Be mindful of people watching.
Yeah.
You should see me with 3 cameras out here. I'm like a bad dad, like yelling at everybody, Dandy's coming! Other than the word judge, I'm going to be looking, his name was Nicholas.
Yeah.
So, Nicholas Laws, of all things, for a judge to be named.
Right?
So, let's get the answers. So come on over this way. You can talk about yours. When they do come through here, I don't know what time it is. It could be too late for them to be out. But other tours love to come in here and they go straight to the back to the beer guard. But I'm going to be walking around with an EMF and just kind of seeing what I get and recording what I have. Just kind of keep track of what you're hearing, Steve, and I'll follow up with you in just a minute. But yeah, definitely stick together, film nice and slow, and we'll see what we can get out of this. Stopped without, having the right answers. Can't tell if that's Bruce or not. Here's a handful of tour guides I'm actually friends with. You got something?
Nothing yet.
Okay. You just look like you had something to say. I don't have a whole lot of friends in this industry as far as being part of tourism, but there's a handful that I know personally.
Yeah.
Bruce is one of them. And he's an author too. And the only reason I know him so well is because he did a book signing. I used to run a Barnes & Noble here in town. That's why I moved to Charleston to begin with. And then he did a book signing at my store, and then I ran into him a few nights ago, and I was like, I didn't know you were still doing tours. So he's like,
That's
do I
cool.
know you? I'm like, yeah, we know each other. We met a few years ago. He's like, I always see the guy with the gear. I never know who it is. I'm like, well, now you do.
Now you
That's
do.
it. Pitch me.
Don't be stealing my ideas. I'll tell you with that SLS camera, we got a figure by that tree a couple weeks ago. And it was weird because it looked like they were leaned up against the tree reading a book, and their leg was moving around. It was weird.
Yeah.
That's definitely not a tour. Here they're loud. And they have to scream at 20 people.
Yeah.
Head up towards this grassy knolls and see if there's any EMF spikes. I'm not getting anything yet. Well, last night it was exactly diagonal from where we are now. I'm waiting to see where this tour is going to go. So then we can head that direction. I don't want to repeat what we did last night, especially in the same exact area. I want it somewhere else.
Isaac.
I'll tell you why that's relevant here shortly. This is a memorial to Marguerite Clark. Marguerite's name is spelled on the So we've also had her initials come up a lot, MV. So again, I haven't done enough research on it to know why she keeps coming through, but I will tell you, like, this grassy knoll is, out of the 4 or 5 times we've gotten those high triple-digit EMF spikes, it's been mostly here. If it's not here, it's up in that corner. So I didn't notice anything when we walked in because I was kind of peeking at it, but last night this is exactly where it happened. Like basically right in the shadow of that where that tree is. So let's see if I can get anything else. $86.3.
Oh, wow.
Again, right back down to 0 again. There's no explanation for a surge like that.
Mm-hmm.
37. Steve, you got anything? No. I'm right back down to 0s. I have scoured this area looking for where I just got an 86. I mean, those readings are just earth. I'm gonna take that by as that was it.
No, it's okay. That's a great ending.
75 turns on the dot.